Notice in this one, after the reading information, it gives you in red some interaction. Click the play button to watch the animation of the car driving down the road. Then answer the following questions. So we're just watching, noticing here that the speed is staying the same, and the cat got in front of us, and the speed decreased to 0. Alright, we'll select continue to answer the questions. If you hit next, you won't see the questions. Is the car accelerating before the cat walks into the road? Well, he was not. Tells us that we're correct. Again, we select continue. In which direction is the car accelerating after the cat walks onto the road? Well, I think the car is accelerating to the left. That is correct. Provides an explanation. Notice there's no more continue, simply because there's no more questions related to that video. At this point, we would click next to proceed. Again, another interaction. In red, it tells us to adjust the angle of the inclined plane, uses the slider bar, and then press play of the button. Then answer questions based on what you saw. Here's the slider. Notice when we adjust the slider, okay, we select play, creates a graph, shows us a little speedometer, tells us that the speed is 11.49 meters per second at the bottom. You can increase the angle, press play. Notice it keeps the original graph. It shows us a new graph, gives us our angle, and our speed is now 19.67. We'll select continue. Answer some questions. How does the ball accelerate as it rolls down the inclined plane? The acceleration of the ball increases as it rolls down the inclined plane. The acceleration it accelerates briefly and then rolls down with a constant velocity. The acceleration of the ball is constant as it rolls down the inclined plane. Well, it appears to me, since the graph is straight, then the speed is changing in a direct straight line relationship, or it is constant. And I'm correct. The velocity increases at a constant rate, hence you have a straight line in your graph. Another question. How does the acceleration of the ball depend on the angle of the inclined plane? Well, it appeared to me that whenever we increase the angle, it would increase the acceleration. So let's see if we find a choice that matches that explanation. It increases the angle. It increases as the angle increases. It increases as the angle increases. It decreases as the angle increases. The acceleration does not depend on the angle. Well, certainly it does depend on the angle. And here's our choice. And we're correct. How much higher is the acceleration when the ball drops straight down than the acceleration when it's at 30 degrees? Well, let's come over here and find out. Straight down. Hit play. So how much higher is the acceleration when the ball was at 30 degrees? All right, so that was 29.4 meters per second. (14.7 meters per second. So it seems to me it was about 2 times higher. No more questions, therefore we'll go to the green button and select next to proceed. Okay, we would continue this form of answering reading, interacting, and answering questions throughout the tutorial. Now we get towards the end of the tutorial at the tab to where it says exercises. It's just reminding you at this point. The lesson modules will show you the time in which you have spent on the lessons, which I will also see, and that you'll need to hit the Q button once you've completed. Otherwise it will not record. All right, in your exercise questions, which is a separate grade from the tutorial, these exercise questions now will need to be answered. And you can answer these again as many times as you like. It will take your highest grade. You'll have to go through the tutorial again, and then it will re-record your score. All right. Okay, we'll select that answer. Okay, and it tells me I got it correct on the first try. Okay, here it tells me I missed my first try. I can come up here and say, oh, well, it must be greater than, and it'll tell me that that's the correct answer. Now, it's important that you know the correct answer, obviously. However, you will be scored that you missed it the first time. And again, you've got a gauge down here to let you know how many you have left. We have one more left. Tells us, congratulations, you've completed the Newton's second law of motion tutorial. You should now be able to answer the following questions. You should have the information to be able to answer these 5 questions. If you still do not know the answer to those questions, you might need to revisit the tutorial. At this time, it's important that you come down and you hit the Q button. If you just simply hit the X button and exit, all of the information that you've just completed will not be saved. So we hit the Q, and after hitting the Q, then you can see my lesson 1 was completed. My lesson 2 was also completed. It took me 5 minutes to do the first one. It took me 1 minute to do the second one. I did 6 correct and 2 incorrect answers. At this point, submit my results and quit. Now we can close. Now, you could at this point go to your reporter. All right, I don't have that view for you, but at that point you could go into the reporter to make sure that it was all recorded properly and that you did everything correct. Hopefully this will help you. Now, what we've accomplished today is that you should be able to know how to log on to Physicsplace.com. You should be able to navigate through the menu. And most importantly, you should be able to go through the tutorials, make sure that you tell it to record your results, and you know how to exit properly so your information will be saved. Hopefully this helps you.